All right, so today we are going deep on Project Hail Mary
Ooh, fun.
by Andy Weir.
Yes.
So this is a sci-fi thriller that throws us right into kind of a desperate situation where humanity is facing extinction
Right.
because the sun is dimming.
Yeah.
And we find out that one amnesiac astronaut basically holds the key to our survival.
Wow.
So we're going to walk through kind of chapter by chapter today.
Okay, sounds good.
So the story starts off
Yeah.
with our main character
Okay.
jolting awake on a spaceship with zero memory and 2 dead crewmates.
Oh my gosh. Talk about a way to start a book.
Right.
Yeah. That's Ryland Grace. He's our protagonist.
Right.
And as he kind of stumbles around the ship, he slowly starts to piece together that he's aboard this vessel called the Hail Mary.
Okay.
And it's on a one-way mission to a distant star. And that his mission revolves around something called the Petrova line.
So what is this Petrova line?
Well, it turns out that an astrophysicist named Irina Petrova discovered this trail of extraterrestrial microorganisms that are basically eating the sun's energy.
Really?
Yeah, and they dubbed them astrophages.
Astrophages.
Yeah, and this trail of microbes between the sun and Venus is the infamous Petrova line.
Okay, so that's not good.
No, it's bad news for Earth.
Yeah.
A sun-eating microbe,
Right.
big problem.
Yeah.
So these astrophages are really fascinating. They consume solar energy and convert it into mass and then expel it as light, which propels them through space at incredible speeds.
So it's like they're riding on a beam of light.
Yeah, essentially they've developed their own solar-powered spaceships.
That's wild.
Yeah, and they really like Venus because of its carbon dioxide atmosphere.
Oh, that's where they breed. That's where they breed. Yeah.
So the more they breed,
Uh-huh.
the more they eat the sun.
Yeah, the dimmer our sun gets,
Right.
putting us into a very precarious position.
Okay, so we have a rapidly dimming sun,
Yes.
an amnesiac astronaut millions of miles from home,
Millions.
a dead crew.
Yep.
Where does the Hail Mary even fit into all of this?
So Ryland eventually remembers that the Hail Mary is heading towards Tau Ceti.
Okay.
It's a star that's light years away, and it's also infected with astrophages.
Okay.
However, Tau Ceti hasn't dimmed, which is why they sent Ryland there.
Oh.
They're hoping that by studying Tau Ceti and its astrophages, they can figure out a way to stop them and save Earth.
Okay, so a beacon of hope.
Yes, a long shot, sending one guy.
Right.
But that's where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
Ryland discovers he's not alone.
Oh.
He encounters another spaceship,
What?
and it's not human.
First contact.
It is first contact.
Okay, so are we talking like hostile aliens here?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's an astronaut
Okay.
from a planet called Erid,
Okay.
orbiting the star 40 Eridani.
Okay.
And guess what?
What?
They're facing the same astrophage problem.
So we're not alone.
We're not alone in the universe. We're not alone in this predicament.
Both comforting and terrifying.
I know, right?
Okay, so what are these Iridians like?
Well, they're not little green men with antennas.
Okay. The book does a great job of creating a really alien species.
Okay.
So Iridians, see, with sonar, they communicate through musical chords.
Wow.
And they live in a high ammonia environment that's deadly to humans.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
A bit of a communication barrier.
Right.
Yes.
For sure. So let's talk about Ryland. We left him with fragmented memories,
Yeah.
one-way ticket to a distant star.
Right.
Does he ever regain his memory?
He does. It comes back in bits and pieces.
Okay.
And the truth is not very comforting.
Okay.
He remembers that the Hail Mary mission was a one-way trip from the get-go.
Oh, wow.
They just didn't have enough fuel for a return journey.
Okay.
And to add to that, the original crew, including Ryland, was put into induced comas for the 4-year journey to avoid any psychological issues.
4 years
4 years.
in a coma
Yeah.
on a one-way mission.
To save humanity.
Wow.
Yeah, and to top it all off, he wasn't even supposed to be on the Hail Mary. He was a last-minute replacement.
Really?
The original crew died in an accident.
Oh, my God.
Talk about bad luck.
Yeah.
But it gets more complicated than that.
Oh, no.
The mission leader, Dr. Eva Stratt,
Oh.
she basically drugged and forced Ryland onto the Hail Mary.
What?
Yeah, she believed that he was the only one who could complete the mission and save humanity.
So the weight of the world on his shoulders, and he didn't even volunteer for it.
Exactly. It adds a lot more complexity to the story.
Yeah.
But back in space, we have 2 unlikely allies
Right.
facing an insurmountable problem.
Right.
But luckily, with Ryland's knowledge of radiation and time dilation and Rocky's expertise in engineering, they make an excellent team.
So a human and an alien working together to solve
Yes.
a universe-ending problem.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, as they reach Tau Ceti and begin their investigation,
Yeah.
they quickly discover that things are way more complex than they originally thought.
I have a feeling there's another twist.
Oh, there's always a twist?
Coming up.
Yeah, so buckle up, because next time we'll explore their discoveries at Tau Ceti and all the challenges that they face.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, so Ryland and Rocky, they reach Tau Ceti and they start digging into what's going on.
Yeah.
And they discover that it does have astrophages,
Oh.
but there's something keeping them in check.
Right, because it's not dimming.
Exactly. They find what they call a Petrova line leading to a nearby planet, and they name it Adrian.
Okay, Daydream.
So, of course,
Yes.
Ryland and Rocky, being scientists,
Of course.
they decide to risk their necks and collect some astrophage samples from Adrian's atmosphere.
A little field trip.
A little field trip, right?
Yeah.
And what they find is really cool. Tau Ceti's astrophages have a natural predator.
Okay.
It's a teeny tiny organism that they call a Tamoeba.
A Tamoeba. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically microscopic and it just eats astrophages.
So it's like nature's astrophage control.
It's like a tiny intergalactic pest control system.
That's awesome. So that's why Tau Ceti isn't dimming.
Exactly. The Tamoebas are keeping those astrophages under control.
So problem solved. They can just bring some Tamoeba back.
Well, not so fast.
Okay.
There's a catch.
There's always a catch.
Right. It turns out nitrogen is lethal to Tamoeba.
Nitrogen, like what we breathe.
Yeah, the stuff that makes up most of Earth's atmosphere.
Oh.
So that means that while they thrive on Adrian,
Right.
they wouldn't survive on Venus, where the astrophages are breeding close to Earth.
Oh.
And it wouldn't work near Eridani either.
So close, but so far.
I know, right?
What do?
Well, Ryland and Rocky,
Yeah.
ever the resourceful scientists, they realize they can't just bring the Tamoeba back as they are.
Right.
They need to figure out a way to make them nitrogen resistant.
So like genetically engineer a super Tamoeba.
Pretty much, yeah.
That sounds really complicated.
It is incredibly complicated,
Yeah.
especially when you're millions of miles from home working with limited resources.
Well, like, and 2 planets counting on you.
Exactly. And speaking of back home,
Yes.
we learn a little bit more about Dr. Eva Stratt.
The mission leader,
Yeah.
right? Who basically tricked Ryland into this whole thing.
Yeah.
What else do we find out?
Well, it turns out she made a lot of difficult choices to ensure the success of the Hail Mary project.
Okay.
Things that weren't exactly by the book.
Uh-huh.
But she felt that the potential extinction of humanity justified her actions.
I mean, makes you wonder what you would do
Right.
in that situation.
Literally.
But back to Ryland and Rocky.
Yeah.
Do they manage to pull off this genetic engineering feat?
Against all odds, they do.
Wow.
They actually managed to develop a process to breed nitrogen-resistant Tamoeba.
Okay, so they're good.
Well, there's another hitch
Knew it.
during this process.
Yeah.
Some of the Tamoeba escape.
No.
And they start eating their astrophage fuel supply.
The fuel.
Yeah.
They're millions of miles from home.
I know.
That's a disaster.
It's a huge disaster.
So what happens?
Well, it's a desperate scramble for survival,
Oh, gosh.
but they manage to contain the situation. They save enough fuel,
Okay, good.
and they end up with a batch of nitrogen-resistant Tamoeba.
So they did it.
They did it.
They can finally go back to their planets.
Yep. They divide up the Tamoeba, load them into separate probes, and they prepare to head home.
So a human and an alien working together to save not one,
Right.
but 2 worlds.
I know. It's a pretty amazing testament to interspecies collaboration.
That's incredible. So they make it back home, right?
Well, this is Andy Weir.
Oh, no.
Remember?
Here we go.
Just when you think it's all wrapped up,
Yeah,
there's one last gut-wrenching twist.
I knew it. What is it?
So Ryland is getting ready for his long journey back to Earth.
Yeah.
And he makes a chilling discovery.
Wait.
Remember the Xenonite?
Yeah, that super strong material Rocky ship is made of.
Exactly. Well, it turns out that in becoming nitrogen resistant, the Tamoeba have also developed the ability to hide in Xenonite.
Wait, so Rocky's ship?
Yeah.
It's full of Tamoeba.
Yeah.
He's going to wipe out his whole species.
He's going to spread the Tamoeba everywhere.
Oh my gosh, so now Ryland has a choice.
A terrible choice.
Continue on to Earth.
Knowing that his planet will be saved.
Or turn back and warn Rocky.
And sacrifice his own chance of returning home.
This is heartbreaking.
It is.
What does he do?
He makes the heroic decision.
Oh, thank goodness. What does he do?
He chooses to save Rocky.
Wow.
He sends the Earthbound probes on their way
Okay.
and turns the Hail Mary back towards Arid.
So he's giving up everything.
He knows that he may never see Earth again.
That's incredible. He's sacrificing himself for an alien he barely knows.
That's true friendship.
So what happens to him? Does he ever make it back to Earth?
That's where the book leaves us.
Oh, no.
Years later, Ryland is living on Arid in a special habitat to protect him from the ammonia atmosphere,
Okay.
and Rocky brings him news.
Oh.
Earth's sun is back to full luminance.
So humanity is saved.
Humanity is saved.
But Ryland's all alone.
Light years from home.
Yeah.
No guarantee of ever returning.
The price of heroism.
It really makes you think.
Yeah, so it ends with Ryland on Arid.
Yeah, just contemplating his future.
Wow.
Will he try to make the long journey back to Earth? Or will he stay on Arid with Rocky?
Gosh, what a cliffhanger.
It really makes you think about, what matters more?
Right.
The fate of a species, the bonds of friendship. What does home even mean?
Yeah.
Would I make that sacrifice?
I don't know. Tough question.
It is.
So, Project Hail Mary, not just an adventure.
No, it's so much more.
It's about human connection.
Resilience, hope.
Yeah. That even when facing impossible odds,
The human spirit can prevail.
and maybe alien friendship too.
And alien friendship.
So anyone who loves sci-fi space mysteries,
Stories that make you think.
definitely check out Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir.
It's a wild ride.
It really is.
And that wraps up our deep dive.
On Project Hail Mary.
We hope you enjoyed it.
We did. We'll see you next time.